Hello students. In last class we already discussed about what is quality factor, how to determine the quality factor, what is a resonance circuit and how a resonance circuit act as a tuning circuit or a selector circuit in the electronics devices. Today we are going to discuss about another interesting circuit that is known as a LC circuit or LC oscillator. So what is LC oscillator? So what is LC oscillator? So L means a inductor and C means is a capacitor. So this circuit is basically consists of an inductor which is connected parallelly with a capacitor, and these two are connected with a battery through a key. Clear? Let this is the inductor of inductance L, capacitor of capacitance C. This is potential and this is key. Okay. Clear? Okay, so initially the key is just closed. So when we just close the key, the circuit gets completed and current starts to flowing. So as we just close the key, the current starts to flowing. So immediately the capacitor starts storing charges. But due to self-inductance, there will be no current flowing through the inductor. Clear? So this is the initial case when a inductor of inductance L and a capacitor of capacitance C is connected parallelly across a battery of potential V through a key. And as just I close the key, the current starts to flowing, and due to flow of current the capacitor accumulates some charge across it, or the capacitor gets charged, but due to self inductance there will no current flowing through the inductor. Clear? So now we will, so this is the condition when the capacitor gets charged. So from this we will get the condition of the circuit like this. So now after some instant again I open the key. So what will be the condition now? It is the inductor and there is no current flowing through it due to self induction, and the capacitor is gets fully charged. Okay, so this is the initial condition. After I close the key for a certain very small time interval, then I open the key so that the capacitor gets completely charged and there is no current flowing through the inductor due to its opposition towards the change in current. So this is the initial condition of stage 1 of the circuit when the capacitor is completely charged and there is no current flowing through the circuit. How the capacitor gets charged? This is the circuit. Okay, this condition, or by closing the key K, I get the capacitor completely charged but there is no current flowing through the inductor due to the opposition for its self induction. Then immediately I open the key so that there will be no current passing through the inductor, and this will be the condition when t equal to 0, or initially this is the condition, the first condition when the capacitor is completely charged and the capacitance of the capacitor is C and inductance L. So as there is a charge completely stored across the capacitor, so there will be an electric field across the capacitor plate along this direction E. So at this particular situation, what is E? E is equal to E max. Let it will be in positive direction from left to right. So as the capacitor stores charge, so here there will be electrical energy UE, let it be maximum. And what is the value? Half Q square by C, the total amount of charge and the capacitance. Okay, and what is the value of current? Current flowing through the circuit at that instant at t equal to 0 when just the capacitor is completely charged. 0. There is no current flowing through it. Clear? So as there is no current flowing through it, there will be no current across the inductor. So the magnetic field B is also 0 and the magnetic energy UB is also 0. This is the case 1. Next, after some time, what will happen? as the capacitor is completely charged, gradually the capacitor starts discharging, and due to discharge of the capacitor a current starts flowing through the circuit. Clear? And after some time the capacitor gets completely discharged and the current flowing through the circuit will be maximum. So what will be the next situation? In next situation the current flowing through the circuit will be maximum and the capacitor gets completely discharged. So the situation will be like this. The capacitor is completely discharged, there is no charge across the capacitor, and the current will start flowing through the circuit in clockwise direction and its value will be maximum I. Here the capacitor C and inductor of inductance L. As current flowing through the inductor, so there will be a magnetic field induced across it due to Faraday law of electromagnetic induction. Okay, so as the current flowing through the coil in clockwise direction, so let here the direction of the current will be like this at this end of the coil. So the magnetic field direction will be along this direction. Okay, so at this situation, this will be the situation number 2. So at this situation what will happen? There is no charge across the capacitor as the capacitor is completely get discharged. So E equal to how much? 0. There is no electric field. So electrical energy is also 0 as there is no charge stored across the capacitor. What is I? I equal to maximum, and as it is in clockwise direction it will be negative, and as current flowing through the inductor will be maximum, so there will be a magnetic field produced across the inductor B due to induction, and the magnetic due to change in flux there will be a magnetic energy stored within the inductor, and that value will be UB equal to how much? Half L I square. So here B will be maximum, and as current is negative so B will be negative, and UB is also maximum, that is how much? Half L I square. Clear? This is the case 2. Next, what will happen after this condition? After this condition what will happen? Again the current through the circuit starts decreasing because the capacitor gets completely discharged, so the current gradually start decreasing, but due to the property of the inductor, that is known as self inductance, it always wants to oppose the change in current. So when the current through the inductor starts decreasing, the inductor wants to oppose the decrease in current along this direction. That's why it uses this amount of energy to provide current along this direction, or to continue the flow of current along this direction, because it will oppose the change in current or the decrease in current along this direction. That's why it will use its amount of energy to increase the current along this direction. So gradually the capacitor again starts recharging, but at this stage the recharge of the capacitor will be in opposite direction. So what will happen in next? So in next case the capacitor will charge recharging in opposite direction. This will be the condition, as the inductor will utilize its energy to increase the current flow along this direction. So the capacitor current flow will increases and the capacitor will charge recharging, and the capacitor will get completely charged like this. So here again this is inductor of inductance L and capacitor of capacitance C. So now the complete energy stored by the inductor will utilize to flow the current along this direction, for which the current total magnetic energy stored in the inductor will be again converted into electrical energy which is stored within the capacitor. So at this stage, this is let be stage 3, what will happen? Again the electric field will be maximum, but now its direction is opposite, so let it be negative, and electrical energy again it is maximum, that is half Q square by C. And what is current? Current flow will be again 0 because there is no current flowing through, as the complete energy of the inductor is converted to store or recharge the capacitor. So I will be again 0, again what is the value of magnetic energy, that is 0, and what is the value of magnetic field, that is also 0. Clear? So again in next stage what will happen, as the capacitor is again get recharged in opposite direction, it will again start discharging in opposite direction. So due to which the condition will become like this. As the capacitor starts discharging along opposite direction, so a current I will again starts flow in opposite direction I, due to which the inductor will store some energy in form of half Li square. But now due to the opposite direction of current flow, the magnetic field produced across the inductor will be in opposite direction. So initially it will be in clockwise, now it will be in anti-clockwise. Okay, so at this case the current is in anti-clockwise. So here again the capacitor gets completely discharged. So now what will become, the electric field will become 0, for which the electrical energy is also 0, and current flow will be how much, maximum in positive direction, because in anti-clockwise sense. Similarly, due to flow of current, it will store some magnetic energy and some magnetic field is also produced across the inductor. So what will happen here, B will be again maximum in positive direction, and magnetic energy is also maximum, that is how much, half Li square. Clear? And after some instant the current again start decreasing along this direction. That's why the inductor used the energy stored within it to increase the current flow along this direction, for which the capacitor again get recharged and the situation become the fast one, because the current will increase along this direction. That's why the capacitor get recharged like this. So after this is the 3 and this will be the condition 4. So after condition 4 again the situation 1 comes, then 2, then 3, then 4. So this is the complete cycle and it will continue repeatedly. Clear? Initially we use a battery to charge the capacitor, and then the capacitor flows current or get discharged to store energy in form of magnetic energy in the inductor. Then the magnetic energy is used to again recharge the capacitor like this, and again the capacitor discharge in opposite direction, for which the magnetic energy will again store within the inductor, and that magnetic energy is again used to recharge the capacitor in opposite direction. So this is the step what will happen in case of what, LC circuit. Why it is known as a LC oscillator? Because as we see here in this case, the electric field at first case of t equal to 0 initially is maximum in positive, then it will become 0, then it will become maximum in negative, then again it will become 0, then it will become positive. That means the electric field is oscillating, same as that of magnetic field is 0, then magnetic field is maximum in negative, then again magnetic field is 0, then magnetic field is maximum in positive, then again 0. Similarly that of current is initially 0, then maximum in negative, then 0, then maximum in positive, then 0. So all electric field, magnetic field, current and also the energy is also maximum 0, maximum 0 is also oscillating. That's why it's known as what, LC oscillator. And if we plot the graph of everything, it will be like this. With respect to time, if I am plotting the graph, let this is t. Okay, so first I am plotting the graph for E. So what will be E? E at t equal to 0, E is positive maximum, so E will be positive maximum at t equal to 0, then E will be 0, so the graph will be like this, 0, then E will be again negative maximum, then 0, then it will be positive maximum, like this. I am drawing for a complete cycle. Clear? Here it will be E max positive, and here it will be E maximum negative. Clear? Again, at that instant when E is maximum, B is 0, so B will be 0 here, then B will get maximum in negative, maximum in negative, then again B will become 0, then B will be maximum in positive, then it will become 0, like this. This is B. Clear? Then what is I? I is initially 0, then I is maximum in negative, so I will be like that of B, so this will be again I. Okay, so the green graph is corresponding to the electric field, the red graph is corresponding to the magnetic field, the black color graph is corresponding to the current. Okay, then the last one, what is energy? The electrical energy is initially maximum, so this is the electrical energy which is initially maximum, then it will become 0, again it will maximum, again it will 0, so initially it is maximum, then it will become 0, then again it will be maximum, then again it will become 0, then again it will become maximum. So this is UE, electrical energy, like this. Okay, this is the graph for UE, maximum, 0, then maximum, then 0, again maximum, like this. So at that instant, what is the graph for magnetic energy? Magnetic energy is also 0 initially, so this is the graph for initially 0, then it will become maximum, like this, then again 0, then again it will become maximum, then again 0. Clear? So this graph will be the graph of what? Magnetic field energy. This is UB. Clear? This graph is UE, this graph is UB, and this green graph, this one is the graph for electric field, the red one is the graph for magnetic field, and the black one is the graph for current. So from this figure we get what? All the components are changing with respect to time. Both are the electric field, the current, the magnetic field, all are oscillating, but the energy doesn't change its direction, because always energy rise in the positive direction, as energy can't be negative because energy has no direction. So from this figure we will conclude what? The electric field, the magnetic field and the current all are oscillating. Clear? Or all are changing their direction alternatively. So that's why this is known as what? LC oscillator. And what is the frequency of this LC oscillator? As we already know that the energy, the current and the magnetic and electric field all are produced along the circuit in which a capacitor and an inductor both are connected in parallel, are oscillating in nature. So they have a frequency, because after certain time period the cycle is continuous. Okay, that's why they have certain frequency. What will be the frequency of the LC oscillator? So let's try to find out the frequency of the LC oscillator. So the frequency of the LC oscillator will be, at this instant, the potential of the capacitor will be how much? Q by C. If I am applying KVL, for this circuit. At Q will be the charge at any instant, Q will be the charge stored within the capacitor, and I be the current flowing through the circuit. So the capacitance or the potential of the capacitor will be Q by C, and that of the inductor will be how much? Applying KVL, minus L to di by dt equal to 0. So this implies you can write Q by C plus L into di by dt equal to 0 according to KVL. So this can be written as Q by LC plus di by dt equal to 0. But we know what? I equal to how much? dq by dt. Clear? We already know. So this implies you can write Q by LC plus d by dt of, in place of I can write dq by dt. Okay. So this equal to 0. So this implies you can write Q by LC plus d square Q by dt square equal to 0. This is the equation. Let it be equation 1. And comparing this equation as the differential equation for SHM, we already know what is the differential equation for SHM. If y is a function which is written as a sin omega t, so it is a function for SHM. So differential equation of SHM will be d square y by dt square plus omega square y equal to 0. This is the equation of SHM. D square y by dt square plus omega square y equal to 0. If we compare these two, let it be equation 2. So these two, by comparing these two, we will get what? Y as q and omega square as 1 by LC. So by comparing equation 2 and 1, we will get what? By comparing 2 and 1, we will get what? So from 2 and 1 we will get omega square 1 by equal to 1 by LC. So this implies omega equal to how much? 1 by root over of LC. But we know what is omega? Omega equal to 2 pi f, which is equal to 1 by root over of LC. So this implies frequency will be how much? 1 by 2 pi into 1 by root over of LC. So this will be the frequency of the LC oscillation. Clear? So in a LC circuit in which the inductor and the capacitor are connected in parallel, we will get the current, electric field and magnetic field, which varies with respect to time and changes their direction alternatively. That way they are in form of alternating current like. So in a LC circuit, what is the use? The LC circuit is generally used, as we already studied, in a LC circuit the electric field and the magnetic field are changes alternatively, and the current is also changing alternatively its direction. That means a LC circuit which is initially used a DC source to get charge the capacitor, and after that if I am connecting something here or we are connecting a load here, so at this load, as the current changes its direction alternatively, so at this load or this output I am getting an alternating current, because initially the current lies in this direction and after some time it will flow along this direction. So if I am taking a output here, so the output current will be AC. That means the LC circuit which is get charged the capacitor by a DC source, and after some time it converted the DC current into alternating current at this across this output. That means a LC circuit can be used to convert DC current into AC current. Clear? That's why it is can be used as an inverter. So a LC circuit can also used as an inverter to convert DC into AC. Then another important use of LC circuit is what? As we already discussed here, that this circuit is able to produce electric field and magnetic field both, but in opposite direction and alternatively. So if I am attaching a antenna here. So across this antenna, when the current is flowing along this direction or the plate is negatively charged, it will get negatively charged, and when the plate will get positively charged, it will get positively charged. So accordingly it can produce electric field, and when the total inductor is get charged or it is produce some magnetic field, it can able to produce magnetic field. So due to the combination of both electric field and magnetic field, this antenna can able to release electromagnetic waves. Okay, because we know electromagnetic wave is a combination of both electric and magnetic field. So as this circuit can able to produce both electric and magnetic field, so if we attach a antenna across this LC circuit, so the antenna can able to produce electromagnetic wave in form of signals. We can send our messages, or this circuit can be used in our mobile, radio or Wi-Fi router as a signal circuit or tank circuit, because it can produce to electromagnetic wave or it can produce signal wave. That's why it is also known as tank circuit. Okay, so the LC circuit can be used as a tank circuit to produce signal or electromagnetic wave in radios or mobiles, or it can be used as an inverter to convert DC into AC. So these are the basic and important application of an AC circuit. Oh sorry, LC oscillating circuit. Okay. Okay, so this is all about LC oscillating circuit. So now we are going to discuss. Okay, there is a question arise whether the oscillation of the energy from magnetic to electrical and again electrical to magnetic continues forever, whether there will be current flow occurs in opposite direction repeatedly forever. No, because as current starts flowing through this circuit, it has some resistance. So due to resistance of this inductor and the connecting wire, gradually the current starts decreasing. Okay, as the current starts decreasing due to the resistance of the circuit, the oscillation will be in damping form, or the oscillation will be damped oscillation. So this graph is not actually like this forever. The graph will be somehow look like this, as these are all damping oscillation. So the graph will be like this. Initially the amplitude will be maximum, then gradually the amplitude will goes on decreasing like this, and at some time it will become 0. So the graph will be like this, and the oscillation is damped oscillation. Initially it is maximum and gradually the graph goes like this. Okay, so the graph will be like this. These are damped oscillations. This is not happening forever. Clear? So the LC oscillation is a damped oscillation whose amplitude or values goes on decreasing due to loss of energy in form of heat due to resistance of the circuit. Clear? So this is all about LC oscillation. So next we are going to discuss what is transformer. So we already know transformer, and we may all see the transformer near to our house. So transformer is a device which is used to convert high voltage AC at low current to low voltage AC at high current, or vice versa. So what is transformer? So transformer is a device, electrical device, which is used to convert high voltage alternating current at low current, or it is a device which is used to convert high voltage alternating EMF with low current to low voltage EMF with high current or vice versa. So this device is known as a transformer, and its principle is it is based upon the principle of mutual induction. Okay, we already know mutual induction. In mutual induction there are two coils, one is primary and one is secondary, and same for the construction of transformer, which is based upon the principle of mutual induction and which is used to convert high voltage AC alternating EMF with low current to low voltage EMF with high current or vice versa, and based upon the principle of mutual induction. What is its construction? So in construction, as it is based upon the principle of mutual induction, there are two coils, one is primary and another is secondary. Okay, there are two coils, one is primary and another one is secondary, because this is based upon the principle of mutual induction, and the primary coil and secondary coil are wounded very close to each other, so there will be no loss in flux. There will be no loss of magnetic flux linked with these two coils. So they are wounded very close to each other, and they are wounded over a soft iron core, and the iron core will be like this. So the transformer is the iron core on which the coils are wounded will be like this. Okay, this is the iron core, rectangular iron core, on which the primary and secondary coils are wounded like this. This is primary, this is secondary. This is primary, this is secondary. And this soft iron core is not in form a solid plate. It is very thin and large number of thin plates. So the core will be look like this. These are made up of very large number of thin plates. Like this. Okay, the transformer will look like this, and the coils are actually roll over the inductor like this. Okay, like this. This will be primary, this will be secondary, and there are a soft iron core of this form which is made of large number of thin plates, and each thin plates are insulated from each other. So these coils are insulated from the plate, and the plate are also the thin large number of plain metallic plate sheets are also insulated from each other. So as they are insulated from each other with or different layers, so the eddy current form across this will be very small. So the energy loss due to eddy current will be very small, because if I am taking a complete cube like this, okay, so the eddy current will produce like this through all over the surface of the cube. But as I am taking here thin sheets which are again insulated from each other like this, so these are thin sheets which are insulated from each other. So if this is a sheet and it is insulated, and here is another sheet, but these sheets are insulated from each other like this, so the eddy current will form very small for this surface only. Individually the eddy current will form across this surface of the each thin plate. That's why the core is made up of very thin and large number of sheets, and each sheets are insulated from each other to reduce the effect of eddy current. So in construction, the transformer have two coils, one is primary, another one is secondary. Both are very close to wounded on each other. That means the thickness or the width of this rectangular soft iron core is very small, and this is made up of large number of thin metallic plate sheets which are separated or insulated from each other to reduce the effect of eddy current. Clear? And the primary coil and secondary coil are made of copper wire, and in such a way that the primary coil has low resistance and high inductance. Okay, and what is the working? We have to connect a AC source across the primary coil. So when we connect a AC source across the primary coil, the current, let it be EMF equal to E naught sin omega t. So due to the time varying EMF, current flowing through the primary coil will change with respect to time. That's why the magnetic field linked with the primary coil change with respect to time. Due to change in magnetic field, the flux linked with the secondary coil also changes. Clear? So when we connect a AC source with the primary coil, the magnetic field produced due to the primary coil changes with respect to time. As a cause, the flux linked with the secondary coil also changes, and as I already told that these are very closely wounded, so that there will be very less amount of leakage or of flux, or the flux leakage will be negligible. So the complete change in magnetic field will able to produce the total, or the total flux linked with the primary will be equal to the total flux linked with the secondary, and as a mutual induction due to change in magnetic field, it will induce an EMF, and due to which across this output we will get another alternating EMF. Clear? So this will be the working. So what will happen? So as we supply a time varying alternating EMF across the primary, and the primary coil is made up in such a way that it have very less amount of resistance and high inductance, so the total input will be the complete output by the primary. So if for EP is the potential across the primary, for which IP is the current, so EP equal to E naught sin omega t is the input across the primary, for which IP is the current. So we know if IP is the current flowing through it, and NP is the number of turns of primary, and NS number of turns of secondary. Clear? So due to change in IP, the flux linked with the primary coil will be how much? The phi p equal to how much? Total flux linked with this will be NP into phi p. Okay. So the induced EMF ES across the secondary will be how much? ES equal to d phi s by dt. The change in flux with secondary with respect to time will be the induced EMF across the secondary. But we know what is induced EMF across secondary. It will be d by dt of what is phi s. Phi s equal to flux linked with secondary. and this phi s is nearly equal to phi p, as there is very less amount of leakage of flux. So the flux produced by the primary will be equal to flux linked with the secondary. So here, from here we can write this will be d phi p. So E s equal to how much? Minus d phi p by dt. Okay, let it be equation 1. Similarly, what is the value of EP? The inner electric potential supplied across the primary. EP will be how much? D phi p by dt into NP. And here it will be, if Ns is the number of turns in secondary, so Es will be how much? This much into Ns. Clear? Ns is what? The number of turns of secondary. So due to 1 turn, this will be the flux, which is equal to this much. So the total flux will be how much? Ns into d phi p by dt, and the total flux produced by the primary, due to which the total EMF EP equal to minus NB by d phi by dt. Let it be equation 2. So from 1 and 2 we will get what? Dividing by 1 and 2 we will get ES by EP equal to how much? D phi p by d phi p dt will get cancelled, so it will be Ns by Np, which is equal to a constant K. Clear? As there will be very less amount of leakage in flux, so the flux produced by the primary will be nearly equal to the flux linked with the secondary, due to which the EMF supplied across the primary is nearly equal to the EMF induced across the secondary. So the ratio will be how much? Es by EP equal to Ns by Np, which is equal to constant K. Here K equal to transformer ratio. Okay, K is known as transformer ratio. And for an ideal transformer, there is no loss in energy. So E input equal to E output. So the total power input is also equal to total power output. What is input? IP into EP. The input potential into input current will give us the input power, which is equal to Is into Es, because E input and E output both are same. So from this we will get how much? Es by EP will be equal to IP by Is. Clear? This is an important relation. Here we will get Es by EP equal to Ns by Np equal to a constant K, which is known as transformer ratio. And again, as the total energy input and output for our ideal transformer is constant or same, so the ratio will get Es by EP equal to IP by Is. So from this we will get what? Es by EP equal to IP by Is equal to Ns by Np, a constant, which is known as transformer ratio. You have to remember this relation. And from this we will get what? E is inversely proportional to I. When EMF is more, current will be less. When current will be more, EMF will be less. Clear? So transformer is a device which is used to convert high voltage at low current to low voltage at high current, because E and I both are inversely related to each other. So according to that, the transformer is divided into two parts. You have to remember these relations. So transformer are of two types. Are of two types. step up and step down. Okay, what is step up and step down? In step up transformer, in step up transformer, high voltage, low voltage, high current is converted to high voltage, low current. Okay, in step, you have to remember this. In step up transformer, step up, you have to get a step up. That means low voltage at high current, it's converted into high voltage at low current. How the construction? If low voltage, that means the number of turns in primary is less in comparison to the number of turns in secondary, because we have to get high voltage. So in this is NP, this is NS, and here we will get the output. This is primary, this is secondary. So for step up, here EP and this is ES. For step up, NS is greater than NP. So this implies what is the value of K? K is greater than 1 as K equal to NS by NP. So here EP is less than ES. Clear? So for step up transformer, the number of turns in the primary is less than number of turns in the secondary, due to which the transformer ratio is greater than 1 and the primary voltage is less than secondary voltage, because from low voltage to high current. So as E is inversely proportional to I, so as EP is less than ES, so IP is greater than IS, because I is inversely, E is inversely proportional to I, so high current is converted into low current, so IP is less than IS. This is known as what? Step up transformer. Next, what is step down? Step down is the reverse of step up. So in step down transformer, it is converted high voltage low current into low voltage high current. So what is step down? In step down transformer, high voltage low current. It's converted to low voltage high current. That is known as what? Step down transformer. So its construction will be the opposite that of the step up. So here the number of turns in the primary will be more in comparison to the number of turns in the secondary. Okay, so this is NP, this is NS, primary, secondary. So here NP is greater than NS, so K will be less than 1 as NS by NP is less than 1. Clear? And as NP is greater than NS, so EP is greater than ES, so IP is less than IS. Clear? So high voltage low current, high voltage low current into low voltage high current. This is known as what? Step down transformer. Okay, so transformer are of two types. One is step up, which will increase low voltage high current into high voltage low current, and step down, which will convert high voltage low current to low voltage high current. And these are the conditions for step up and step down transformer. You have to remember these. Clear? Okay. Next, what are the loss in transformer? There are different types of loss in transformer. Energy loss due to different conditions in transformer. So what are the energy loss in transformer? So about the energy loss in transformer we will discuss in next class. Okay, thank you.